talk to me a little bit about why is phone flipping something that's worked out for you specifically? I know you said earlier that everybody has electronics. That's something that's obviously big. But tell me a
Right.
little bit about why did you find something in that niche?
So in that niche, electronics in general have always been popular. So it's not just phones. We'll also flip computers, desktops, tablets, headphones, anything. Everyone always seems to want the biggest, newest, best thing. And so the devices they already have, they have to do something with them. And so we're pretty much the middlemen to buy them. They want the cash to buy the new thing. And then we take that, hold it for a little bit, and then resell it at a higher value. Because with like the garage sale deal, I had to go to each individual garage sale and try and find what would sell. It's much easier when everybody already has the electronics. They just come to me to sell them. So it's much easier to get that business. I don't have to go find it. I just
So
brand myself
how do
as.
they come to you though? Can you be more specific so people can
Yeah, absolutely.
understand?
So that's what the best part about phone flipping is my advertising is practically zero. Craigslist, Facebook, and then various apps. 5 Miles, OfferUp, Let Go. All these buying and selling apps are available to everyone on an iPhone or Android. I pretty much put an ad out making it look like I'm selling a product, but I'm actually selling a service to buy their product. So I'll put an ad that's got a picture of a stack of phones that I have, paying cash for iPhones. And then in the description, any condition, iPhone 6s or up, contact me for a price. And I'll put that ad out. So people who search for an iPhone or electronic, they'll see my ad. Generally, they're already going to have a device because most everybody does. And if they want to upgrade to an 8 Plus and they have a 7, upgrade to a 6 and they have a 5S, they'll message me. I'll give them a price based on what it sells on eBay. Very simple. I find out what it sells for on eBay. If it sells for 200, I just offer less than what it sells for on eBay, and then I resell it. Now they can. I know somebody's going to say, well, they can just go to eBay and do that. They can, and I actually let people know that. Look, you can get more money on eBay, but you're going to pay shipping. You're going to wait 7 days for the listing. You may get a return. Sell it to me for a little bit less. I'll pay you cash today, and you'll be on your way. And so that immediate cash really works well with local sellers. So.
No, so I understand. So, but here's kind of the argument I had to someone else that was doing this, and I'm just curious
Yeah.
as your take on it. Is the phone industry so relatively changed every like 2-3 months? I mean, like with a new phone coming out, new software, it's
Right.
even faster than computers, right?
Right.
Computers used to be the thing you hated upgrading, but you had to upgrade every 2 years because the old one just sucked compared to the new one, no
Yeah.
matter how good you thought the old one was.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, is a business that is consistently upgrading that way? I know obviously it's good because there's always business, right? Meaning there's
Sure.
always a new phone in that way. But how does it make sense from an inventory standpoint when you're buying phones that are ultimately completely useless in 6 months, or just not on demand anymore and become
Right.
scrap?
That's why mainly we sell on eBay. So I don't know the last phone that I had that took longer than 30 hours to sell. It's generally because I already know what the selling price is going to be. I just market a couple bucks less, and it usually sells within 5 or 6 hours. So I'm not holding on to any inventory. I may have 2 or 3 in my stack here, but that's from yesterday. As soon as I list them tonight, by tomorrow or Thursday, they're gone. And so even though the phones are going to transition in 6 or 8 months to new software, new whatever, I'm not going to have that model to have to sell in 6 months. And so it's constantly my inventory. I could buy 20 phones over a weekend and have a whole another 10 or 12 completely different in a couple days. So the turnover is much
So
less.
what becomes the biggest risk then in your business? Like analyze it for me. Like if someone is trying to get into this, right? What is
Yeah.
the big risk? I mean, I know about watches, and I'm always like, well,
Yeah.
watches have a certain set value, so I'm not
Sure.
really worried about, but watches don't matter like obviously phones do because they're not always upgrading, and old stuff is worth more than new stuff. So
Yep.
it's actually in your favor to hold something longer versus, electronics is the opposite.
Sure. Exactly.
So tell me a little bit about what is the biggest risk of phone flipping?
The biggest risk, which I notice with all my members, is the software that's designed to protect you on the phones is screws resellers, which is on an iPhone is the iCloud. Guys get really excited if they get on my free guide or they get on my program and they get a great deal on a phone. They just go and pay cash, take the phone, they want to sell it. Well, it's got various locks that are designed to protect you if that individual loses the phone. So not checking to see if the iCloud is on. If you reset the phone, it now becomes a doorstop. The FBI can't get into it. It's very difficult to get into. There's some companies online that say they can break into iCloud. They can't. It's just if you pay $200, $300 and you don't check to see if the locks are on there, you're out of the money. So that's the number one. The guys that have the biggest problem, they get very excited. They can make X amount of dollars, but they don't do the due diligence to see if the phone is just wiped and clean and ready to go.
So what you're saying is that when you, and I've seen that because when I change phones, for example, if I trade in my old phone, they make me download or delete whatever the iCloud is on the phone, right, prior to turning it in so that I'm not logged in anywhere. But what you're saying is that when people are purchasing, they're obviously not paying attention, or they're not even paying attention that if that was that person's phone to begin with, or if it was locked or not, because it might have been transitioned to 4 people by then, and nobody knows who that belongs to by that point, and it's just a dead phone, pretty much.
Correct. It's locked, or if they, just with anything that you buy and sell, if you do it any type of professionally, we carry a bill of sale. So if you just think that, hey, I'm only paying $100, I don't need a bill of sale. Well, if that phone, as soon as that person sells you that phone, they can go to T-Mobile, AT&T, hey, I lost my phone, I have insurance, give me another one. And they'll get a brand new phone, and you'll now have a blacklisted, marked as stolen phone.
Which becomes useless ultimately, right?
It becomes useless. So that's the biggest issues, the number one, number two that I see with guys trying to get into this business. So we just have to...
Is that a common practice? Like, meaning, is that a common practice that people screw each other over this way? Like, I'm just curious, like, is that a common scam in the industry? Like, sell your phone and then go report it stolen?
It's popular, yeah, it can be. And so if you just go and you don't look confident and you just look like you're trying to buy a phone you want to leave, they know that they can almost pull the wool over your eyes and do that. Now, if you go kind of like I do, and I've got a big old booklet, and I make them sit there while I check the volume button, while I check all the buttons, check to make sure they weren't lying to me. They have to fill out their address, their bill of sale, their phone number. If they don't do it, I don't buy the phone. If they know that that's on there and it's a legal document, they have to physically sign saying, I will not blacklist this phone. I have removed the iCloud, this and this. The chances of that happening goes down. But if you're just trying to make quick cash and, hey, I'll meet you up at Chipotle, here's $20, let me take your phone, they can do that to you very, very easily.
So it just really comes down to the fact that, do you understand the process to use to make sure you don't get scammed ultimately, correct?
Correct. You can go on eBay, or not eBay, but YouTube, and look up phone flipping and learn how to buy a phone and sell a phone. But it's the little bitty processes and the steps that we take to make sure that once we buy it and once we sell it, it's a complete, safe, and legal process, and we make profit every single time.